what is the worst thing that Doc Rusty Venture has ever done? Because he's done a lot of heinous stuff over the years, but truly, which act of his is the worst? And we're going to start off with the sort of slightly better ones involving Rusty's romantic situation. Obviously, he broke Sally Impossible's heart.
You lose again! I'm with Dr. Venture now!
Excuse me?
On multiple occasions, and season 2 we still see him using his power over her to manipulate her into doing what he wants. Even Brock is disappointed in him.
At least I didn't break his heart.
You don't know that.
Access granted.
We're in, lover.
He tricked Myra into thinking she was the boy's mum so he could get some free baby care and some sexy time for himself, which has probably messed her up for life and definitely got her sent to an insane asylum.
Yeah, Daddy makes mistakes, Hank. You boys needed free daycare. And when Myra was younger, she was quite the sexual panther. I needed...
Nikki Fictal was underage and the president of his fan club.
She's 15! Did you expect me to card her? She said she was 20! Look, she came on to me. Things got out of hand. I'm not proud of this.
Oh, you're not proud. You fucked the president of your fan club.
And he definitely knows that Dharma is his son and refuses to address the issue.
Hermit, that's my illegitimate son.
Pretty low for Doc, but definitely not his worst point. Training an orangutan to become an illegal boxer?
Supposed to teach him boxing, not tricks. You ready, Dean?
No. Brock, this is kind of the saddest thing ever.
That was definitely a low point for Brock, but doesn't even come close to topping the list for Rusty. During Operation Prom, we see Rusty creating a Spanish fly variant.
This is my special proprietary blend. It'll take that no-way Nancy and turn her into a yes-I candy.
So it's like a roofie.
So he can roofie all of the escorts that he's hired. And while they do turn into mutant fly people, does not stop Rusty. He still manages to find it in himself to bed one of them, which is also got to be a low point in his life.
Road, babe. Daddy's got work to do.
But let's get to some of the really heinous activities. The Joy Can. Essentially, Rusty creates his own pleasure pod jerk-off palace, and he uses an orphan. Not exactly primo materials, but at least he didn't use all of it.
An orphan? Did you say an orphan? Yeah, a little orphan boy.
It's powered by a forsaken child.
Might be, kind of. I mean, I didn't use the whole thing.
He also just doesn't treat lots of people well who come to... Anyone who's not family who ends up on the compound grounds is normally treated pretty poorly. We see Rusty letting one of his daycare campers get murdered by a gorilla.
I wasn't alone there. We lost one.
Well, where was his buddy? He had a buddy. They all had buddies.
I saw a little kid get disemboweled.
And he then clones the child and messes up his genetics. Probably not for the better.
He'll be fine.
You didn't.
Oh, please. You should have seen that kid's DNA. It was a ticking time bomb of cancer. I cleared that up.
Wouldn't be surprised if that ends up as a supervillain who comes after Rusty in the future. Botched scientific experiments do that to people. And in What Color Is Your Clean Suit, Rusty definitely is responsible for a lot of deaths, all of Student Green, poor Bad Figures kid that he genuinely kills with his own hand.
Your figures are bad. They're bad figures.
As well as creating two different races of superhumans within his own backyard, because he just leaves them in an irradiated room. So, pretty poor. Obviously, his treatment of Hank throughout the series...
Tell me why you love Dean more than Hank.
I don't love Dean more than Hank. You think this is the first time I've been tortured? This is amateur hour. Been hitting the bottom of my chair with a rope.
And what he did to that Marvel Comics #1 was definitely unacceptable. But compared to some of the other things on this list, they don't really stack up. But truly, I think the worst thing Rusty Venture ever did is in Viva Los Muertos. Obviously, he manages to bring Venturstein back to life, which...
I tell you!
Sure does. Holy sh...
Aha! Told ya! This is it, Brock. The big one. The holy grail of super science.
surprisingly, isn't that bad. Not compared to what he's done in the past, not compared to what his father's done, bringing people back to life. But it does come with a caveat that at the end, there is a genuine second where Rusty debates killing off all of his clone slugs of the boys to send to the army as zombies. Which he does in the end, but it's not his fault for them dying. But even cloning his sons to keep them alive, if Rusty had made the decision to unplug them, even thinking about it might have been the worst thing he ever done. Or not. Maybe the multiple sexual things or straight up killing people would be bad. But if Rusty had, even thinking about taking the lives of his own sons is pretty brutal. Lots of decisions in his life are pretty brutal. Fortunately, Season 6 and Season 7 Rusty, he's doing better. He's no longer super manipulating people into sex, he's just trying to hire Black Widows, which I guess is a step up for him, maybe. Well, let me know what you think the worst thing Rusty did in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time.